Hey everybody, I'm Koa.
I'm True.
And this is the Crew Movie Review. Alright, so we just watched The Kitchen. The Kitchen is directed by Andrea Berloff, and then it's written by two of the people who wrote the comic books. It's based off a comic book off of by Marvel, or Marvel owns it. So it's written by Ollie Masters and Ming Doyle, and then also co-wrote with Andrea Berloff, the director.
Probably Andrea was probably responsible for the screenplay, maybe, But
and then
it's with my favorite actress, Melissa McCarthy. McCarthy.
I'm pretty sure it's McCarthy.
McCarthy.
But I love McCarthy too. I actually I don't know if she did anything.
I didn't like her in Bridesmaids. Everybody loved her in Bridesmaids. I didn't like her.
I liked her in Molly.
People told me that
Mike
I look like her, or I act like Melissa McCarthy in like Bridesmaids, but which was probably an insult. But still, like, I didn't find her that funny in Bridesmaids, because that whole like, oh hey, I'm fat, that's therefore I must be funny kind of joke. It's like, it's not funny to me, because as a fat person, it's just, oh yeah, I'm fat, I'm funny,
right.
Like, no, but she is funny because she's talented.
Right. Well, I first saw her in Mike and Molly, and I love that show.
Yeah, that's a good show.
That's where I fell in love with her. It also starring Tiffany Haddish.
I thought it was maybe Tiffany Haddish. I don't know.
Sorry,
but
Tiffany.
she was good in that another movie she did with the short comedy guy. Can't remember his name, but I thought she was. I think she's very sexy. Like, she's sexy. She was knockout sexy in this movie. Oh my gosh.
And then,
the 70s were the right decade for Tiffany. She was really good.
And then also the third actress is Elizabeth Moss. And then
she's from the Handmaid's Tale, which is a really.
I've not seen that.
It's a show, and I binge watched that like during a transatlantic flight. I was like, that show is great, but she's really good in that one, in this current movie as well. But I would say the star of the show is Tiffany. She plays the character Ruby. I
disagree. I think Melissa's the star of the show.
Melissa's the star of the show?
Melissa.
She was good too. I would say she was a good second.
All three of them were really good. They played their characters really well. Very believable. And I have to give a shout out to Donald Gleason. I really like this actor. He's new, as far as I know. The first time I saw him was in Dark Mirror, in that sci-fi. It's on Netflix. It's kind of like a modern version of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, really good stuff. And he plays.
He was also in Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He
falls
in love
really
with that robot.
But that was, he's a good actor.
He's really good.
And I like how his scenes, he kind of plays this kind of like
nonchalant.
Not nonchalant. I had the sense of feeling that he's slightly depressed, slightly he's just going with the flow of life. Like, life, he's decided that life sucks, but he's just going to go with the flow of it.
Right.
And of course, his love interest in the movie is Elizabeth Moss character, and she kind of brings him back to life. His purpose of being there is for her.
Right.
So
just kind of the main story. It is it is done by Marvel. So it takes place in Hell's Kitchen with a daredevil, but this is it takes place in the 70s, I believe. And none of the superheroes, they're not in there. It's just them, and basically it's about these three women who their husbands get sent to prison, and they have ties into the local mafia there, and they're basically kind of like on their own. They're kind of starving, they're not getting enough money to come in, so they kind of decide to take business into their own hands.
Right, and they're the wives of the criminals that rule the kitchen. Oh, the Irish mafia or the Irish
or Italian.
No, it was Irish.
Yeah,
because they emphasize the Irish part quite a lot, like Irish, and
the Italians are there too, but they're on the other side of the river.
Right, but that's not that's not them. But,
right.
Ruby's character is the only one that's not Irish. She is African American, and she is actually from Brooklyn area that she married into the Irish mafia. Mm-hmm. And we'll find out. You find out later why she was there for a reason. Mm-hmm. We're led to believe that Melissa McCarthy's character is the brains of the operation, where when they find themselves, when their husbands get taken away to prison, they find themselves like, okay, well, now we have to figure out how to
how to survive,
how to feed our kids and how to survive and everything. The matriarch of the crime family, she's kind of a douchebag, and
she's actually the mother of the husband
of one of the characters
of Tiffany's character. Like, so she's like the daughter-in-law. Anyway, we don't want to get too much into that. I don't want to spoil it for you just yet, so we'll get to that later. So what we want to get, what do we think about the movie?
I really liked the movie because
I think it was really well written.
It kept me it kept me glued to the screen. I wasn't distracted with like Koa munching on mushrooms.
Yes, I'm doing mushrooms while watching a mob movie.
Popcorn, or there have been times. Usually, I'm just like drinking soda or distracting myself with other things. And this time, I was like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" Like, ooh, I felt like it was a lot of it was like, "Oh, hey, feminism," like, "Hey, I'm a woman, I can do anything" kind of movie. But it wasn't at the same time, because it was like, it wasn't just about like, hey, I'm a woman, hear me roar. There's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just, I felt like they had a good balance. Yeah, a good balance of it. They didn't treat men like, oh, they're stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, except for one. One of the guys they did kind of treat like that. One guy really deserved it because he was a total, jerk. But anyway, so. Yeah, I think it was definitely a very well written movie. Very thought out. It just kind of played out really well.
Did you feel like it was like? Did you feel like it was like had a feel of like the comic book? Like a comic book feel to it.
No, I didn't feel like it was like a comic book feel. It wasn't like your typical superhero type of Marvel movie. It just felt like
a comic book doesn't mean it has to be a superhero movie. I mean, I meant comic book as in like, did it have that feel of the way they edit it or the way they have the movie flowing?
Well, I've never
completely forgot that it was a comic book based.
I didn't even know it was a comic based off a comic book. I've never even heard of it, never read the comic book, so I have no basis. As far as like, did it follow the comic books at all, or anything like that?
For example, like Scott Pilgrim meets versus the World. I thought when I was watching it, like, not that I had read, it has something to do with having read the comics before or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't read the comics for that movie also, but when I was watching that movie, I could tell it has like a distinct comic book feel to it.
Yeah.
But this one, it was like, there's no, it's straight drama, crime, very little comedy, but still it was very enjoyable.
Right. Like I said, it was very well written. It rolls out really well. I don't feel that I didn't feel that there was like any lulls or any breaks in the movie. It kind of
It was action. Right, I feel like
it just flowed really well. Mm-hmm. So. I would definitely say it's definitely one of the movies to watch. I would probably give it a 6.
A 6?
Yeah, maybe a 7.
A 6? Yeah. No, I disagree. I definitely give it an 8. Or, an 8.
You give that movie an 8?
Yeah, because I think this is by far Melissa McCarthy's best movie role. I think.
I'm not giving it a star based off of who's in it.
Not just that. It's just
because the actors were great.
The story was great. There were twists and turns.
Yes.
It wasn't a typical like mafia criminal story. There was a twist at the end. There was. There's still. It's. There's still comedy, there's still drama, there's suspense, there's a lot of killing. If you don't like blood, violence, you don't want to watch this movie. There is a lot of blood and violence. They don't taper it down because it's a chick flick,
Right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so to go. Yeah, so if you don't like blood or anything like that, this is a very graphic movie. So just a heads up, and definitely an adult movie. I think it is rated R, and so yeah.
I like the fact that this movie also had characters. The main characters, they grow from like the meek, like I don't know what to do, kind of housewives to full on kingpins at the end.
Stepping up the game. Alright, so if you haven't watched the movie yet, go ahead and go watch it. Go enjoy it. Because now we'll probably talk a little more in depth and maybe go over some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear that, go ahead and leave the room. Stop the video. Go ahead and watch whatever video you want to watch after this. And then and if you're going to watch the movie, come back and finish watching it with us and comment, leave your comments below and stuff like that and tell us what you liked about the movie.
Alright.
So, what did I want to say about the movie?
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I think my favorite part was Elizabeth's character. Just her,
innocence,
getting she's kind of got this innocence,
but she's deadly at the same time.
And she grows as a person. She's being stepped on like all her life. At least that's what they kind of give you.
All three of them were pretty much stepped on.
But especially her though, she was
right. Physically
getting abused by her husband. Her husband's a real douchebag. He beats her and stuff like that. And she's always getting like a black eye and stuff. And so, she basically kind of like says, "Okay, I'm done with this. I don't want to be that person anymore." And she just says, "Okay," and she fights to be a better person, not someone to be stepped on. And I like that. I like that part of the movie. It's kind of drawn out, and it's not really a specific scene, but I did like that. So
yeah, I think my favorite part is probably where they, towards the end, like where they find out about the twist about...
Yeah, don't spoil the twist.
Okay,
you gotta leave at least an ending.
It's a very small twist, but it's okay, it makes sense now,
right.
And then...
the pieces are coming
That's
together.
when I felt like towards the end it was just like non-stop action, and where, Melissa's character has to make a decision, and that felt very real to me at the same time. And it wasn't how a lot of movies are like from the doormat status to the I'm the king of the world state.
Mm-hmm.
They just go like it's just more like a climb, like where it's like I'm being stuck. Oh now I'm better. Oh now I'm the I'm God at the end. But
I'm invincible.
Whereas for them it's like it's like it's more like a little flutter, climb to the top, and then even at the top they're still faced with like the problems it brings. It's like they still have to juggle stuff. They still have to deal with different conflicts that their success as kingpins bring. And there's a lot. I like the fact that there's a lot of double crosses here and triple crosses,
Mm-hmm.
Attempts to or whatever. And then I like that, because it's like it keeps you guessing,
Right.
And I like the fact that it portrays women as, they realize that they have to do stuff on their own. That they have no one. That ultimately there is no one that anybody can rely on except for themselves.
Right.
And so that's the main takeaway of the movie, and I like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of wraps it up, basically. I don't want to... I mean, there isn't a lot...
Which is why you love me.
There isn't a lot to spoil in this movie. There's only a few things, and I don't want to spoil it because it really will take away from the movie and how the characters develop. And then when it comes... at the end, it kind of comes full circle, and you kind of like put the pieces... They kind of, put the pieces together for you, and you're like, oh, okay, that's why this person did this and this person did that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's definitely a good movie.
Also, the mood, the ambience of the movie was really cool to me. Like the 70s, it didn't have that grainy 70s feel to a lot of movies when they go back in time. Like, they always do this grainy filter to 70s movies.
Right, to kind of make you think you're back and you're watching a 70s movie.
Oh, you are watching a 70s movie. You know, like as if we can't figure it out or whatever. But this one's like, they did say in the beginning of the 70s, 1970s, but it was a good movie. It was the filmed beautifully, I think. Edited beautifully as well, and well acted. Did you have any problems with the plot at all, or?
No.
There were some unbelievable. I know Koa is a big. He scrutinizes on every there's this plot hole, there's this this hole there and this hole there, and it doesn't make sense. Now, even though it was a good movie, I did not like it because of all these things that does not make sense,
That could happen. No, I don't think there was anything in there that I didn't like. But yeah, so I mean it was a good movie, like I said. I would definitely go watch it. If you like the Marvel universe and stuff like that, it's not, like I said, it's not your superhero movie type of thing, but it's still within this Marvel universe,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really good. I don't really care for
I
Marvel
don't think
movies.
it referred to any Marvel.
No.
Universe,
I mean, it just says Marvel and it says Hell Kitchen. That's the only reference they really give you.
But I like the movie. It was very suspenseful. Has a lot of violence, but both me and Koa don't like overly done violence unless it comes to zombies. Then we love it. But
or monster movies in general.
Or monster movies or fantasy movies, But it was pretty well done.
Yeah.
I could do without some of the overly. There were a lot of deaths in it, and I could do without it, but that's what the movie is about. That's what I'm assuming that's what the comics is about, even though I haven't read the comics or anything. But it was really well acted, well done, well shot, well sequenced. Yeah. The plot was good. There was this a little twist at the end, and that was enjoyable as well. And the ending was a good ending. It wasn't a sad ending. It wasn't like, realistic ending or anything. But it was a good ending. Ending you can go home with.
Right. And I don't really care for mob movies. It's just not my thing. But this is definitely... It was a good movie. It was definitely a good movie.
Mob movies are not our thing at all. Like, his taste in movies is different from mine. But I would have to say mob movies are not. So, my score is 8. And yours is 6. Wow, that's a really low score. That's like average. I don't know why he recommends it's a good movie. Anyway, whatever.
Alright. Well, you guys have a good night. And that'll conclude the Crew review. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.
And watch out for our reviews on these movies next week.